what happens if you are rejected for a PPP loan, or if you're still waiting and you haven't heard back yet, and what other funding options, whether grants or loans, are out there for you. Hey everyone, this is Ryder from Skip. It's Saturday, January 30th. I hope you're doing well, staying healthy. A very quick video today. I wanted to share some more details on the PPP loans and what to do if you are still waiting or you've been rejected. Or even if you've received a PPP loan already, I'm going to talk about what other options are out there for you. So this is a quick summary on the spectrum of programs and of course recourse if you are still waiting. You know, Monday is the 1st of February. One of the things we are hoping for next week and the week after is the SBA to contact all of us waiting for EIDL grant news. Of course, it won't be all of us based on our data here. Based on our data here, when we pull up the EIDL grant tracker, only around 6% of people who are using our tracker are eligible for the new SBA EIDL grant funding. So 6% of you hopefully will get contacted next week or the week after. Again, this is what the SBA has said. We're going to contact you in February. And again, there's $40 billion that's waiting to be spent, waiting to be shared to people who need it the most, for people who might not qualify for PPP loans. In the PPP program I talked about earlier this week, already $40 billion has been sent out. So if private lenders can distribute over $40 billion in 3 weeks, I think the SBA can do something here and get this going. Time is the most important thing for everyone struggling, for everyone thinking about rent. They got February rent. We hope this gets put out very soon. And as always, you can check your eligibility on our free app, trackeidlgrant.com, to get our free app and stay in the loop. But that's not what I'm going to focus on in this video. I'm going to focus on the programs that are live, that are happening now, and things for you to consider, especially if there's action you should think about this weekend or next week. We've just put up this post on our blog. I'm going to run through it right now. So I talked about the data last week. As of last Sunday, almost 500,000 PPP loans have been approved. But the good news, and I want to say the good news off the bat if you're still waiting, that's only around 10% of the total funding available. Again, with the PPP loans, there's not an issue of running out of funding. At least there wasn't the first time around. There was so much extra funding the first go around. And we expect the same this time around too, especially because they've changed the qualifications and who qualifies. But here is why you may still be waiting on a PPP loan. And then I'm going to talk about why you might have been rejected for a PPP loan and what you can do if you've been rejected, other funding opportunities, how to check your other eligibility, and how to look for other grant or low interest opportunities. Again, whether you are an individual, independent contractor, or you have a small business with a few employees, this video is for you. This post is up on our blog and on the Skip app. You can always search Hello Skip in the App Store. We made it in the top 100 under the lifestyle category, so we hope we can keep building on that. So tell a friend about our app too. You can share right via the app. Here's why you may still be waiting. Sheer volume. Okay, that's the biggest reason. Lenders have received millions of applications already in the first 3 weeks. Many lenders spent the time to automate processes and increase their throughput over the last several months. However, many have not and have to do a manual review. So if your application was put in manual review, and this is broad strokes by the way, but this is basically how many lenders work, chances are it's in a queue waiting to be reviewed by someone. Now, if you've been approved already, the reason is probably because lenders put in automated steps, and if you met those steps perfectly and the criteria perfectly, it was boom, 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 you green lighted through the entire application process. Your lender would have sent the application to the SBA would have approved, and you'd have gotten it back. So that's kind of the flag internal system that a lot of lenders put in place, and you may have sailed right through, but if some small thing is off, it may delay it, right? It just triggers a manual review. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your application. And by the way, all of this is for illustrational purposes only and not advice. You absolutely should check your own eligibility and read the rules yourself. But high level, you may be flagged just because something doesn't align exactly with the automated system. So that's a big reason why you may still be waiting. There's queues, there's prioritization. For example, many lenders are using the 80-20 rule. Let's take care of the majority of applications first that are familiar to us, that we know, that we can just streamline through our review system. Then they will want to take their time to do reviews on their own. And we've also heard the SBA is taking more time in their reviews. The main goal is to try to prevent fraud, to make sure that this money only goes to small business owners who qualify for this program. Period, full stop. So that is the main reason again, it's still very, very early in the program. Reasons why you may have been rejected, there are a few reasons I want to mention right now, and I'm probably missing a few, but here's what we've heard. First, you may not meet the qualifications of the program. I mean, we talk about the qualifications on our blog, we link to the SBA forms, etc. So make sure you qualify, period. Second, it may be due to an SBA software issue incorrectly rejecting second-time applicants. We talked about that last week. There was a bug where they would reject second-time applicants if you hadn't had your first loan forgiven yet. Under the rules, you should qualify if you haven't had your first loan forgiven. However, there's back and forth there, and that was one major issue that has come up that is causing some undue stress for second-time applicants. Third, it might be because your lender you applied with had specific rules about when you could apply. For example, segmenting first-time applicants versus second-time applicants. Here's a letter we put in to show an example, just one example here. Happens to be from Bluevine, one of our partners, but basically saying you're already an existing Bluevine user. We are currently updating our online PPP application for existing customers and will contact you with updates. So basically they sent a, quote, rejection letter because you applied too early. So we've heard this from other lenders as well. Fourth, as I mentioned, it could be because your lender's internal system flagged your application incorrectly or correctly and sent a form reply to you. Those are a few examples. Here's what you can do. First, you can check the information the lender sent you. Many will reply with letters explaining the situation. It might not have a lot of information though, so you might want to try to get in touch with the lender you applied with. That'd be the first bet, because many lenders have protocols in place to automatically reject duplicate applications. So don't just apply again, because you're going to get the same result most likely. Most have flagged duplicate applications as part of their fraud prevention. So it's always better to talk and understand, oh, you didn't get that document right. Can I resend it to you, and can you review it again manually, etc. As an example, again, this is not advice. Many lenders are extremely busy as well. So the second, if you reread the rules and are sure that you qualify, one example would be you got a first PPP loan and you also had your revenue decline and you meet the requirements. So you have high confidence that, of course, you should qualify for a second PPP loan, and maybe the lender made a mistake, right? That could be a case where their system flagged it, and that's that. That certainly could happen. Now, you could either try to get in touch with the lender or apply through another lender. And this happened the first go around, right? With the big banks. I'll just name a few names. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase. In the first round, they were often criticized by the small folks because they weren't getting the necessary attention from the big guys. So what happened was a lot of the small businesses went to other lenders. Hey, what can you do for me? Can I apply through you? And that's absolutely fine. And actually, you don't need to apply with the same lender you used for the first PPP loan. If you applied through lender A, you can go with lender B in the second round. So there's nothing that says you have to remain loyal to your lender. We have 3 links here. Of course, these are 3 of our partners who we think are particularly great because they're fintech companies and they have automated a lot. So Bluevine, Funding Circle, Credibly. These are on the post. Also, I will leave these links in the description. Finally, as we wrap up, check your other opportunities. We have a stimulus funding calculator. We put this up 3 weeks ago, but you can quickly put down your number of employees and payroll and check the necessary boxes if they apply to you, then calculate your funding potential. And you see right away, basically, what you may be eligible for based on the rules of the SBA programs. We'll add to this in the coming weeks. But that's a quick way to just double check, for illustrational purposes only. We say that all over the place, just going to say it again. Lastly, there is other grant or low interest loan opportunities. We especially expect more when the third relief package is passed. In yesterday's video, I talked about the third relief package and the timing, maybe mid-March, or end of March. So if that's passed mid to end of March, state and local governments will get billions, hundreds of billions in more funding, and we hope that a certain portion of that will be put towards grant programs for you, for individuals, businesses. We already have a list of some for some of our Skip Plus members. So if you want access to some of those localized grant or loan opportunities, you can start a free 15-day trial and we'll send you access. Those are much more competitive. We check throughout the week, every week, for any new program, so you can be confident that if a new program pops up, we're going to catch it and make it available to you. So anyway, you can start a free 15-day trial or go to helloskip.com/membership. I'll leave the link in the description. Anyway, that's the recap here. I hope it's helpful and gives you some peace of mind. Again, here's the data on our app. It shows around 11% of applicants have gotten PPP funding so far. It's gone up a lot in the past few days. We expect it to go up a lot more next week. And vaccination progress, another 1 million shots in the last day. So we're almost at 10% of the US population having gotten one dose. Anyway, we're tracking all that on the app. I mentioned yesterday, and I'll say it again here, if you have a driver's license, we can also remind you when you need to renew it, especially with the Real ID. Many of you still haven't gotten your Real ID. The deadline for most states was pushed from last year to this year, October this year. But anyway, you can put in your driver's license expiration, and we will alert you when it's time to renew, and we'll help you either renew online or skip the line at the DMV. That's on the app. Go to trackeidlgrant.com to get the app to read this post. As always, stay well, stay healthy. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow.